yes, it's your opinion. You're still getting paid for it.
Tom,
you're not getting paid today.
I am getting paid today, and I'm getting paid tomorrow.
Exactly.
And tomorrow,
so
I'm,
in my
Lord
job,
above, narky knickers.
Yeah, I'll start by not being out to be a real anti-royalist or anything like that. I think the Queen did a fantastic job, really. I thought her role to do with like feminism was fantastic. She was a really good role model. The council housing in the 50s and 60s was really important.
She didn't have anything to do with that, though.
Well, her role was really good. I'm not here to defend the royalists anyway. I'm here to say, how on earth are we expected to defend and go out in the street to celebrate someone who, I mean, we could go on to say about his nearly £2 billion wealth, his relatives who have been involved in court cases, the PR stunts that his children often run on tubes just to try and fuel that they're kind of, they're the normal people like us. They're not. You've been talking yourself as well about the smiles on the face of the people and the public. Actually, what about the smiles? Are there smiles on the faces of people in poverty at the moment? Absolutely not.
No.
Are there smiles on the faces of people waiting 24 hours for NHS A&E services? No.
And I'm afraid during the Queen's reign, every single day of it, that was also true. And the wealth he has was her wealth that's been passed down to him from her.
Exactly. So
but you admired her.
I admired the person she was. I'm not gonna go and start mouthing off about her because she's a human being. But we need to change this, don't we? How can we keep allowing people to harness that much wealth, have these kind of family figures who can just get away with the things they've been doing? Okay, how can we have that and then just keep passing it off as...
But has he got away with it? Has he got away with it? I mean, you might think he should have faced his day in court in America, but he's...
Who are we talking about?
Andrew? Are we talking about Andrew?
Well, you brought him up there, so that's great. Well, yeah, I mean, let's think about that. Andrew,
it's openly reported.
There's actually been other family members in court as well, but if you want to define it just to Andrew, then yes, I think he has got away with it. That's my personal opinion, okay? And let's not...
12 million loss of royal roll? No? It's something, isn't it? No, I don't mean it's concomitant with...
He's going to be out there tomorrow. He's going to be out there tomorrow celebrated, and you think that's a punishment for him?
No, I'm not giving it any characterisation.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you... Well, let me speak. I'm just saying to you, I'm certainly not defending him. I'm saying to you that it isn't quite true to say that nothing has happened because of those allegations against him.
Okay, right, that's one thing I've said. What about the people in poverty when we've got someone who's harnessing nearly £2 billion of wealth?
Well, I've answered that. I've answered that. Tom, I've answered that. In every single instance of monarchy in this country for hundreds and hundreds of years, people have lived in poverty, people have lived in ill health. It's not good. It's nothing to be celebrated. I'm saying that you sound very anti-monarchy, and that's okay.
Your response to this, though, and I've just been listening to your show. You've been defending these people out in the streets, celebrating it, smiles on their faces.
Why should I? I don't need to defend.
And lovely.
Hang on. You're getting very narky about this, Tom. You began by saying you're not anti-royalist, anti-monarchist. Are you sure? I mean, it's perfectly okay to be, but you sound like you are. And I don't need to defend people who've gone down to the Mall on a big national occasion to enjoy it and soak up some atmosphere. Good luck to them. I don't need to defend them. What harm are they doing to anybody?
Sheila, that's what you're getting paid for. You're literally getting paid today to talk positively about these people. And yes, it's your opinion. You're still getting paid for it.
Tom,
you're not getting paid today.
I am getting paid today, and I'm getting paid tomorrow.
Exactly.
And tomorrow,
in my
Lord
job,
above, narky knickers.
Well, if you want to respond to me with personal insults,
well, it
clearly shows that you're not very good at it.
You're, oh Lord, you don't hear how insulting you've just been to me, assuming that I am some kind of lackey here, when I'm not a lackey here. I invited you to discuss your anti-monarchist views, which you clearly hold, And every time I point to that to give you space to do so, you accuse me of being some kind of royal apologist, which I'm not. Nobody's telling me what to do. Nobody's telling me how to present the programme. Nobody's telling me I must say how marvellous King Charles is, because I'm not saying how marvellous King Charles is. I'm looking at the event and the history and the recent events of the loss of the Queen, trying to put it into some context and have a conversation with people about it. You can say whatever you like about them, Tom.
Well, thank you, yeah, and so can you.
Yeah,
However,
and I do.
However, you've got to be able to accept the criticism.
Which criticism?
Well, the fact you're talking about people going out and really making this a big thing.
Well, they are.
And actually, when we could change this and something could happen where maybe there is still a figure like the king, but can't they maybe allow some distribution of wealth to the people, things like that? And yes, you'll come back and say, well, they do. But clearly not if he's harnessing nearly £2 billion.
I haven't said, stop putting words in my mouth. I haven't said anything about redistribution of wealth. And if you think that the way to solve the distribution of wealth in this country is to remove the royals from the scene, then you don't understand the redistribution of wealth, because it's a lot more complicated than that.
Well, I think they're probably encouraging other very wealthy business owners to carry on that as well. I think there does need to be a change, and actually,
which is fine. But also the idea that I am somehow quashing that notion. I actually think that change will come in time, in a more gradual way than people imagine. But we'll see. We'll see if I'm right.
Not if we carry on like we have done. You've literally said poverty has stayed the same for how many hundreds of years? You did. You did.
I didn't say poverty has stayed the same, because it clearly hasn't. I said poverty has always been there alongside any monarch. So you were very admiring of the Queen, and the very wealth that, I'm going to repeat it, the very wealth that Charles has was hers. And the very poverty that existed in her lifetime, some of it still exists, and new versions of it exist in his time. I'm just reporting, Tom, to you what our country is like, and giving you every space to say that you want it to be different. I want it to be different, but I can still see. Let me just finish. I can still see the pleasure that so many people are going to take in tomorrow. You won't be one of them. Fine, you're telling me about that on the radio on a program that I present. The idea that is somehow a view that is being stymied is nonsense.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm probably in a minority listening to your show right now. However, this country is a minority in the world. And let's not forget that this royal family have been part of colonisation.
Okay.
And you've literally got, I've got the tweet in front of me here from Senator Lydia Thorpe, an Australian senator. Today I join representatives from 12 Commonwealth countries with the King as head of state in calling on the new King to recognise British acts of genocide, issue a formal apology to all First Nations, and then it goes on to say a bit more. So they're not going to apologise, are they?
Well, I don't know what will come. They're certainly looking at that whole issue, aren't they, as a family, because they know they have to. And also, Tom, you've made a lot of assumptions about me and about this programme and about the people listening.
I've not made any assumptions about you.
You really did. You assumed that I'm a patsy at the very start of our conversation, and I'm not a patsy for anybody.
Said that word.
I'm allowed to, because guess what? I'm not your patsy or anybody else's patsy. But just to finish, the point you made, or the claim you made, that you're in a minority on this programme, I'm looking at the calls coming in. Let me just give you a flavour. Then I will talk to all of these people. George in Tunbridge Wells, I'm anti-monarchy. You in Leeds, we know about. Gary in Widnes, no interest in the royal family. I love history, not excited about tomorrow. Sean, I hope it rains all day. Charlie, we should abolish the royal family. I'm a Republican. Why isn't Charles paying for his own coronation? Yeah, so if any royalists are out there, it'd be great to hear from you. 0345 6060 973.